Hello and welcome. My name is Dwayne Huff. Thank you for joining me for this free masterclass. I'm going to get these short. I'm going to keep it succinct and simple because I want you to have this information so that you can close more sales consistently, predictably, and profitably. And one of the first things that we have to do is be able to simplify our sales conversations. And the whole reason for this training is to show you the number one mistake that most sales professionals make. And I don't care whether you're inside sales, outside sales, short cycle, long sales cycle, B2B, B2C, whatever you're selling is, whether you're a sales professional or an entrepreneur or a business owner selling your products, services, and solutions, this will apply. How do I know that? Well, my name's Dwayne Huff, and I'm a 14-year sales professional who then left the corporate market, starting my own sales training and performance coaching brand, drew a blank there, and went on to start 3 other businesses, so 4 total, and selling every single day still, just like you. And I stumbled across this as I was learning to sell, and then I started to apply this to my businesses, share it with my students and with my clients, and I still see sales professionals, business owners, and entrepreneurs falling in this trap. The trap is this, is that we get so much product knowledge, or maybe if you started the company or developed the product, you know you're an expert at your product, your service, or solution, and the problems that it can solve for your potential buyer. Problem is, what you don't fully understand or know yet is what matters most to them and what they value from your product, service, or solution. And here's the thing, they'll never value your product, service, or solution, but they already value something about the result, the outcome, and the emotional state they're going to be in once they achieve that outcome or result. And therein lies the key to turning this all around. So you may not be guilty of this, and if you're not, go away from this video. But chances are you've fallen in the trap, because I see it every day. I even fallen in it from time to time. We get so tempted to want to tell our potential buyer about our products, our services, our solutions, our features, our advantages, our benefits, and how it can solve their world's problems. The problem is, if we do that too soon without an understanding and a demonstration of our understanding of their situation, their resistance goes up. They resist us, they push against it, or they shut down and they don't listen to us. There's 3 parts of the brain that make buying decisions. For some, it's one or 2, sometimes all 3. And so if you look at our brain in 3 parts, you've got your fear portion, the fight or flight portion, you've got the emotional center, and you've got the logic or cerebral, right? And so I always like to lead with emotional, because there are people who just, if it feels good and if it sounds right, boom, they go. So let's get that up front. Secondly is the logic. And there's a lot of people here where you've got to justify, you got to demonstrate, you got to show, you got to share the data, you got to share the examples, right? Because even if they do buy emotionally, they're going to try to justify it, or they're going to want to justify it logically, so you got to hit that component. And then if that's still not enough, we have to inject a sense of fear of missing out, or fear of failing, or a fear of loss. But don't worry, your prospect, your potential buyer, is going to give you all this if you approach the conversation correctly. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. The first thing is hold back and resist the temptation to solve the first thing that comes up. Or when you hear a problem that you can solve and say, oh, our company does that and we can do that. There's a time, there's a place for that. But it comes after a rich, deep discovery and understanding. In fact, I don't even want to say discovery, because as sales professionals, we've gotten to the habit of saying, okay, I need to ask some questions to get some answers. That's discovery. But what I want you to do is go deeper than that. And I want you to facilitate a conversation of self-discovery, a self-discovery on the part of the prospect and the potential buyer that gives you a deeper understanding of the reality of their situation. And when you demonstrate that understanding, people buy when they feel understood, not when they understand you. But whenever they feel understood, they feel like they've given you all the things that matter to them most. And when you can show that you understand that and then map it to your product, your service, or solution, that's when the magic happens. Because our goal here, and the trap that so many sales professionals fall into, entrepreneurs, business owners fall into, is that we think the features, the advantages, and benefits, uniqueness of our product, service, and solution is the thing that will dazzle, mesmerize, and convince, but it's not. It may seem like that at times, but what really needs to happen is, in the conversation, to keep it very simple, This video is going to be so short and it's going to be so simple, but I want you to go back and watch it again and again, because I'm not going to belabor this and I'm not going to drag it on and on and on. I want you to be able to take what I'm about to share with you, test it out, and watch it change the entire dynamic of your sales conversations and start making you more sales immediately and get you lasting sales results and sales growth if you choose to apply it. So rather than just diving in, pitching, presenting, and demoing too soon, because that's the trap we all fall into, I want you to hold back your presentation. I want you to hold back your demonstration. I want you to hold back your pitch, even if they ask you for it. And pull back the conversation of understanding these things. And we're going to ask these questions in a way that are going to be non-invasive. They're not going to be intrusive. We're going to have to approach this conversation with the mindset that says this: I need to make a sale. I don't need to make this sale. And that also says I'm going to let go of my agenda to sell something right now, and I'm just going to pull that understanding to see if it's even a good fit. And if it is, I'll have confidence to know I know the answers to make the recommendation. But if I don't, I'll disqualify it up front so I don't waste my time, but I'll point them in the right direction. And when you sell with that kind of integrity and you fight for the outcome and the win of your potential buyer, they feel it, they sense it. So let's keep the conversation simple. Here's all we're trying to find out. Mr. Potential Buyer, Miss Potential Buyer, where is it that you are right now? What are you currently doing to reach the goal you're trying to reach? Where are you? What are you currently doing to try to reach that goal? Secondly, where are you trying to be? Ideally, if you could craft the perfect solution to help you get from point A to point B, where is it that you're trying to get? And then, why does that matter? Or, what's going to be the benefit or the payoff if you're able to achieve that and bridge that gap? Where are you? Where are you trying to get? Why does it matter? What's going to be the payoff if you get there? And then, here's where that fear piece comes in. What's going to happen if nothing changes? If you stay the same or you don't find a path forward? And why does it have to happen now? Now, you may be thinking, well, Dwayne, those are dangerous questions, because what if they say, it doesn't need to change right now? Good. You just disqualified it. But if you've talked to them about where they are, where they're trying to get, what might be standing in the way, I don't know if I mentioned that piece. Where are you? What are you currently doing? Where are you trying to get? What might be in the way? Why does it matter? What's going to be the payoff when you get there? And what's going to be the loss if you don't? If you will be patient, I'm summarizing, keeping it very simple. And if you'll be patient and you'll bring them through that conversation with those points I just mentioned, and when they give you something, pause long enough to listen and to understand, but then dig in. Well, hold on. Why does that matter? What does that do for your business? Why hasn't that been a piece of what you guys are doing so far? What would happen if you were able to resolve that? And all I'm doing is diving in and trying to understand. The magic in this conversation is not that you're telling them what to think or what to believe or trying to lead them into what to think or what to believe, but you're getting them to face something that they do not face on a regular basis, if ever. And it's the reality of their situation. Whether it's in life or business, they're just trying to survive. They're just trying to get to the next level. They're just trying to keep the lights on. They're just trying to pay the bills. You think that they're sitting there all day trying to figure out how to be better and how to bridge that. They're not. Why? Because it's painful. Because what if there's no better way? What if there's no solution? What if I can't get where I'm going? Why would I face that? And so they just survive. They push it under the rug. They minimize it. They just keep looking forward and think to themselves, I'll get to that later. Enter you as the sales professional, the business owner, or the entrepreneur that knows that there's a higher level for them, that knows they don't have to stay here, they can get here, that knows some of the barriers that are in the way. Again, we're going to hold them back. Because the conversation we're trying to drive right now is one of self-discovery that drives self-motivation. Here's what I mean by that. Now that you're having this conversation with them, this is probably the first time, if not the first time in a long time, where they've actually stopped long enough to consider, where am I? What am I doing? What am I trying to accomplish? What's keeping me from accomplishing that? What do I want from the payoff? And what's going to happen if I just stay where I'm at? Is that really where I want to be? And when you're asking them questions, instead of telling them what to think or telling them what to believe or telling them how your product, service, or solution can solve their problems, but you're listening and getting them to talk to you, they're hearing their own words. And that is the most compelling driving force that you can leverage. Because they self-discover they have a gap and a problem. And they self-discover what the driving force and the motivator is behind it. And then whenever you get those cheat codes and you're able to show them that this is what they're trying to accomplish, here's what's in the way, here's how they get where they're going, in a way that your product and service can potentially help what you've done in their mind, even though they haven't implemented what you told them or taken advantage of your product or service. What you just did in their mind is you showed them a bridge from here to here. And when they can visually see that path in their mind, there's a sense of relief and a sense of belief that now I can face this because I know there is a solution. Then your products, your service, your solution, and the features and advantages and benefits of them matter. But not until you pull those cheat codes, not until you understand what it is they already value about a product, a service, or a solution. And then, when you get that, and you've demonstrated, you've presented, and you've given your pitch as it's relevant to their cheat codes, the beautiful thing is this: if you will simply pause after that and say, what questions do you have? And don't be afraid of those questions. And you answer those questions thoroughly, you'll find the objections that could have come in your way won't come your way because they're embedded in those questions, and they feel so safe and non-threatened by you because you didn't pitch them, that now it's as simple as answering questions and saying, this result. I learned this from one of my mentors, Myron Golden. Approach this very carefully. This results that you're trying to get. I mean, would you prefer to, get that later or sooner? Most times they're going to say, I'd like to get it sooner. And then all you'll have to say is, then how would you like to proceed? Or when would you like to get started? Or what should we do now? And if you've done a good job of establishing where they are, where they're trying to get, what's in the way, what's going to be the value when they get there, and what's stopping them, or what's going to be lost if they don't, if you've done that thorough conversation, you've got the momentum of them having that moment of, oh my gosh, and seeing that path forward, chances are they'll be closing you. I had a mentor years ago. He said, Dwayne, if you have to close, you don't know how to sell. Didn't understand it back then. Now I do. And I just laid it out for you. So hold back the pitch, the presentation, and the demo until you pull the self-discovery and self-motivation. You can't do it unless you let go of the outcome. You cannot let go of the outcome unless you have a big pipeline, a bunch of people that you can potentially talk to, because if you have to disqualify this one, you got to be able to walk away. So I hope that served. This was hopefully short, concise, and to the point. Don't overthink this. If you need to go back and watch it a couple times, by all means do it, because then it will lock in. But go apply this stuff. And I want you to shoot me a message whenever you do. Let me know how it went, because here's what I know. I work with, it works for me. It works for my students, my coaching students, my clients, my corporate clients, small, medium, and large size companies that I work with. And I get the reports all the time that say, oh my God, that is so simple. And when you apply it and you're patient and you just establish those things, you're going to be amazed at the conversation that comes forward to you, the dialogue that you have with your clients, and they literally will be closing you if you approach it the right way. So give it a shot. If you're on a fast track and you really want more of this and dive deeper, there's a link below here. I do a 5-week session where it's coaching and mentorship, where I dive deeper into the selling with influence principles. That's my sales methodology. My brand is write your own ticket, because I believe you can write your own ticket in sales. You just got to be willing to increase your influence. So I do that in a 5-day format. There's a link below here. Check that out. And if you're a sales leader or a business owner or an entrepreneur that has a sales team and you'd like to talk more about implementing this or potentially implementing this in your company, reach out to me. My website is sellingwithinfluence.com. I'll leave my information below here. You can also shoot me a text or send me a message, And let's get you some more sales. And remember, you can write your own ticket in sales. You just got to be willing to hold back the pitch, hold back the demo, hold back the presentation. Establish an understanding and demonstrate that understanding to your prospect and understand where their cheat codes are. Map them to your product, service, and solution and simply ask them, how should we proceed? You'll be amazed at the dynamic of your conversation and how much business you will close that you should be closing, and you'll stop losing business to low-cost competitors and people who are selling products and services that, quite frankly, let's be honest, are inferior to the product, services, and solution you sell. Let's talk soon. Have a great day. Bye-bye.